My live streams are brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon. And by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good afternoon, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Circuit Sunday, the show which must mean that it's Sunday where I'm at, and I'm going to be building some sort of circuit. And I'd like to welcome Joe and Trina, who appear to be in the chat, and Jay from the House of Moth. And I hope you noticed that I had done a little bit of video work. I got inspired, and actually it's because this is Circuit Sunday and I needed to do a new animation. And hopefully the lack of sleep from last night's fun at Joe's birthday bash stream won't adversely affect today's project. Now, of course, today's project is very similar to one I did previously. You might remember this. It is an LEDBright. And this is Fruit logo. Notice how it has a distinct resemblance to a particular vintage logo of a current computer company. So, and hi VHS, welcome. So I have another project. It's actually another LEDBright. And if you read the video description, you probably see what's coming. But I have a chicken lips kit. Now, why is it called chicken lips, you might ask? Well, I believe that's because if you looked, you would notice that there actually is a company that still holds a trademark to this particular logo. And their lawyers may not have a sense of humor. So, it is Chicken Lips, which is more famously known as the Commodore logo. So I have another LEDBright. Joe spun another batch of LEDBrights due to popular demand of his patrons. And I have the parts and the LED kit. And I'll warn you that most of these LEDs are blue. So if you don't like blue LEDs, well, this is not the kit for you. But I wanted to build one of these with the Commodore logo, so I think it's about time to start. Yeah. All right. I also hope I remember how to put these together because I think Joe, knowing that I built one of these, did not print me a new set of directions. And me, knowing myself, I misplaced the original directions. Oh, wait. I might actually have them. Nope, those are the tiny comp directions. Ah, it's easy. Why am I looking for directions? I'm an engineer. Let's go. Directions are for, not for engineers. Engineers just do things, break things, and file bug reports. Yeah. All right. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and split the PCBs for the legs apart, and I'll have to find some sandpaper later. That way I have them handy in case I need them. I also have, as you might have noticed, I have a USB power adapter plugged in, and this time around I'm not stealing one from something else. So I won't surprise myself at some point if I decide that I need to use that other adapter. Plus the one I'm using today is a little more beefy just in case I'd short something. So, much like last time, I need a few things, and the first thing I need to do is to turn on power to my soldering station. Go ahead and warm up the soldering iron. So I'm just using my FX888D today because it's actually heating up to proper temperature. Hopefully I won't need Claris, the desoldering station. But if I do, I'll power it up. Let's see here. Also, I do need solder flux. And today I will be starting with sample 88 because I have some. But I will probably run out of sample 88 because this project takes a lot of flux. So I will then switch to the old stuff. I think I might also like a toothbrush in case I need to clean some flux out of the way to be able to see what I'm doing. And last but not least, which is why I was looking to see which drawer I put it in, just a CR2032 battery. Because it is a good idea to test these LEDs before putting them in the board. And now I did realize there was one part of these directions that I do want to double check. So hopefully there we go. Joe has the assembly instructions on his website. Yay! All right. Because I want to make sure I do some of this assembly correctly. All right, let me pull the assembly instructions over on my one monitor. And let me move the YouTube chat. And actually, I think I'm going to, there we go. Keep the YouTube chat on the monitor on the left and the directions on the monitor to the right. That way, I see the chat a little easier when things move. But yes, because the red LEDs are in this bag with the USB plug, you will notice that the lenses are clear. The blue LEDs are in this bag. You will note the lenses are clear. They also do use different resistors, so that's a thing. But yes, just in the off chance that somehow a different color LED snuck into Joe's blue and red LED stocks, or because occasionally these LEDs can actually be bad, I will check them with the battery before installing them on the board. Also, I think like last time, actually, I may do this one a little bit differently. I might actually start at the 0, 0 on the grid and work my way down the board. So, I guess when assembling an LEDBright, it is helpful to have the instructions because there is a specific way you need to install the resistors and the LEDs, otherwise it won't do what you want it to do. Because the way the board's laid out. So, LEDBright, it is from Joe's Computer Museum, JCM-1.com, designed with love in Ohio. And this would be the version 1.0 board. And at the moment, it appears as if Joe has 2 left in stock. If this is something you want to build for yourself, then there are 2 left in stock. And there is no telling if Joe will restock after those go out of stock. So, just warning you. But yes, also, this is a trick you can do with any LED. You can use a coin cell battery like a CR2032 to test it. This will not hurt the LED because the CR2032 can only supply so much current. So it is actually basically going to limit the current the LED will be able to draw. I want to say these batteries can supply about somewhere between 10 and 20 milliamps, which is usually within the range of an LED. So you don't need a resistor to use one of these because it's going to, the LED won't be able to draw too much current because the battery can only supply so much. So very handy. Work with any LEDs. So if you have, Insta flashlight, or if you've got a bunch of LEDs that all look the same, then you just basically, do that. And the longer lead on these goes on the positive side. So, and then of course, you'll want to note that the bottom of the board is here. So that's 0, 0 is the top left. Bottom of the board's where the USB jack is. Then this would be down here where the feet go in. So, because gravity will dictate how this works when you actually try to stand it up, I would not advise trying to be clever and build it upside down because it'll just fall and that'd be a travesty. All right, so LEDs and resistors are installed with their legs on the horizontal planes. LEDs are inserted into the larger pairs of pads, which are the round circular ones. I will zoom in. So starting at 0, 0, the larger set of pads are for the LED, and the current limiting resistor for each LED is below and to the left of the LED. And you will also note that they are numbered. So there's D00 and R00, D01, R01, so on and so forth. So, and until you get down to DFD and RFD, DFE and RFE, DFF and RFF, because it uses hexadecimal numbering. So you put the current limiting resistor in the wrong place, well, the LED is not going to be able to draw current. And let's see here. And the one other thing we want to do, that lower left resistor is rough. Har, har, har. Yeah. Or, lower right one. Also, the one other thing I am going to do, because it'll help for testing, is I am going to install the USB jack as the first thing. That way, I can actually plug in power. And it is very important that the USB jack is on the front of the board, or you will have a sad day. You might think it would look better on the back. It might look better on the back, but it will work far worse on the back. As in, I believe yes. Should you decide to be clever and solder it on the back, you will short circuit something and will have a bad day. So let's follow the directions there and put the USB jack on the front of the board as it was designed. The one thing you can do if you are concerned about looks, there is a case that you can order for these that is 3D printed, and I think the USB plug is covered on that, but I'm not sure. I don't have that case yet. All right, I'm just trying to move some things so that I have my totally legitimate fume extractor at the ready. All right, so I am going to just decided I'd go ahead and get the 2 side clips that I think strengthen it, and then I'll get the 4 pins here. Just real easy. And now, so anyways, now we have the power. So what you can do when you put this together is, all right, to show you what you can do here. All right, so actually the first row, we have nothing in the row. So we will go on to the second row. And it appears as if there are 6 LEDs. And I believe the recommended, yes. So you take, so I'll do one here. So basically what we want to do is, hey Garth. Welcome. I am just about to get started here. So, for example, I guess I am zoomed in. Probably would help to zoom out just a little bit. There we go. So for the first row, as I said, there are no LEDs in the first row on this board. So we'll skip to the second row. And there are 6 LEDs starting at 1, 4. So one thing we can do is, so we want to, if we put our resistor in, and I think this will work, and then the LED goes into D14. The long LED goes to the left. It's a good way, easy way to remember how to put this together. Then, if we kind of hold the pins of these components, angling them towards one side or the other, we could kind of do that for a row and then just double check that before we solder. We can double check that all the LEDs work. You just have to kind of pressure them. So and I kind of think now one thing I was tempted to do if I was feeling brave, hi Dave, welcome. The instructions kind of recommend to do them instead of doing like shortest to tallest component, because there's so many LEDs. It kind of recommends to do them a row at a time so you can just slowly check your work. I think I'm going to follow that because there's just a lot of places for error. So anyways, the resistors, I am just kind of bending them. It doesn't matter which way goes where, but I am bending them kind of all the same way. You can bend them however you want. And then we will put so the resistors, whoops. So the resistors go into R14. So R14 to R19. And like the instructions picture, I am putting the resistor body in the left. So that when I do have the case, I think they'll fit. So anyways, and all right. So we've got our resistors, and I have, there we go. Just for consistency, is it done yet? No, Jay. That's 4 resistors down. I don't know how many left to go. Unlike the Apple one where I counted the number of components, I actually didn't do that for this one. I was like, yeah, I think everyone's going to see that there are a lot of components without me actually having to count them. So today's flux of the day until I run out is sample 88. And I probably will run out because that's all I have left. I know, I haven't soldered one yet, and it's, wow, 240. I soldered the USB jack on. Actually, all right. All right, and now that I have those on, guess. Trim the leads. And now, all right, 2, 3, all right. And so you can put them in like that. I'm going to hold them all down with my just some light pressure, because I just want to make sure that before I solder that I see all the LEDs turn on, just to make sure. Yeah. Yes. Just to make sure they work. And then yeah. Just stay hydrated out there, that's all I'll say. All right. And then just make sure that all the LEDs appear to be there. And then I also am going to then double check after I solder. That way, if I find that soldering killed one of them, then I can, it'd be easier to remove it now than when I'd have at least one side without any components on it, than if I wait until I have more. So anyways, there's row number 1 done. Thomas, it is somewhat warm. I don't know what the temperature is right outside right now. It's the sun's out. It's probably like 90 degrees Fahrenheit today. Let me see what my phone tells me. Oh no, it's only 83 degrees Fahrenheit. It's supposed to only get up to 86. Okay. I was thinking for some reason 90 degrees, although maybe that's tomorrow. Nah, midweek. Okay. And yesterday, I think it was pretty warm too. Ugh. Yeah, I went to an estate sale yesterday, and I did buy one thing. I put a bid in on one item. No, apparently I did not win that item. I didn't think I would, because I suspect, well, I kind of figured my bid was going to be too low, but the minimum bid was also the maximum I was willing to spend on it, because it's not something I really need. And it was an Atari 2600. It was kind of one of those, you know, it's not quite on my list of things that I really want. But if I could get it for the minimum bid, then, well, I'll put that in. But I suspect someone... I kind of figured I'd be outbid, but I was like, well, if I don't try, then how do I know that maybe somehow someone didn't realize what it was? But the one thing I did get is I bought one Atari 2600 game, because it's an infamous game. So it will go on my, as soon as I get it put together, my knick-knack shelf of computing history. And that game is E.T. Yes, I actually bought E.T. the game because of how infamous it is, despite the fact that I won't be able to play it, although from some reviews of that game I've read, it's kind of unplayable anyways, so... but yeah, I actually, it was actually in good shape, so I bought it for my knick-knack shelf because it's infamous. It was $6. That might actually be, I don't know if that was a good price or not. I just haven't gone to go look, but the price they had on the Atari 2600 was $200, and the minimum bid was 25% of the tagged price, so my bid was $50, because that was like the most I was willing to spend on it, because I didn't really need it. Yeah. Yeah, $200 can buy a lot of other things for the channel. I didn't want to blow it all on an Atari 2600. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. I remember when you, like, Atari 2600s were, like, yeah, one banana. Yeah. I remember when you could, like, Atari 2600s were everywhere at yard sales and no one wanted them. And yeah, you could get them for like $5. And they probably even included Pac-Man. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So I was like, I don't, I mean, it was like, I thought, well, okay, I know they're going for like 150, 200 bucks on eBay these days. I guess basically it's the point of the curve of technology, of life cycle, that enough of them have failed, and I guess demand for them has increased because people are into retro now, and there's not as many out there because units failed. And but yeah, I decided there's a lot of other things that I would rather have Oh, yeah, this, oh, yeah, that $200, and that was the one thing that might have made it still was probably too expensive. It only had one game for $200. Even if all the games that they had for it were with it, I would have still, well, I wouldn't have been able to buy the ET game. I think you could still get deals on them, but yeah, I looked. There wasn't really anything else at this estate sale that I was interested in. So that was like really it for technology. They might have had a computer, because I did notice in one of the rooms they had 2 computer monitors, but no computer. Someone may have already bought the computer, or maybe the computer was never available. Maybe the family might have wanted that. So also the air conditioning was not on the second floor of that house, and that's where the 2 computer monitors at the desk were. So I also was kind of not really wanting to prolong my time trying to see if maybe the computers were somewhere else on the floor. It was like they probably weren't vintage, because they were like 2 1080p 21-inch monitors, so it didn't look like if I was missing something that could have been another vintage computer. Yeah, that's the other thing. The TIA of the 2600 is its weak spot. I mean, when it came out, I'm sure that was revolutionary, but that did become its weak point as they tried to push the limits of the system. In fact, I think there's some games that... Am I remember correctly in thinking that Pac-Man, the port of Pac-Man for the Atari 2600 really wasn't that great, because it really was pushed the hardware too much? Because I know the 2600 TIA only had enough memory for half the screen, so it mirrored what was on the left to the right, just because there wasn't enough memory to hold an entire line of the screen. So, and then of course E.T. was infamous just because it was horrifically rushed for the Christmas season, and has bugs. Whoops, and I think I got oh, yep, there we go. I got a little blob of solder in one of the vias. There we go. Nope, I am going to actually have to... Yeah, I kind of... Yeah, I remember that, yeah, the game might have been incomplete, which... Or I seemingly also remember reading, and in fact, I think I remember Grandpa at one point had bought an Atari 2600 at a yard sale, and it had E.T. with it. And I remember trying to play that game, and oh, Pac-Man was incomplete. Yeah, okay. Yeah, E.T. just had like a lot of, it was pretty buggy. Because I seemingly remember you could fall into pits and there was no guarantee that you'd be able to get out of them. So yeah, that was the game that was buried in a landfill. That people swore that it was an urban legend, but well, it was proven that Atari really did send unsold Atari 2600 games to a landfill and buried them. All right. Okay, there we go. Again, I just test the LEDs to make sure they work before I put them in and to make sure they're blue. And then I've been testing them again once they're in. And then trying to find a way to hold them in place to solder. And you know, actually, whoops. Actually, I just thought of something that might work. Joe, it's not that I don't trust that you sent me the right color LEDs. It's that I think you suggested I check them just in case Mauser and their infinite wisdom got LED colors mixed up. Yeah, he did mark the colors. But but I think he also suggested that I check them just to be sure. When you solder these up, you insert all the LEDs and resistors, tape a big pad of foam to the board, then solder them up all at once. That actually is not a bad idea. If I can find a big foam pad that'll hold these in place. Oh, yes, that's right, Joe, because actually I'm pretty sure the way Mauser packs components, I don't think they'd mix up LED colors. Now, yes, the highest quality Chinese supplier, that might be where I would think they would get mixed up. Yeah, let me one further and stuck the foam to a piece of particle board. Yeah. Let me see. I might have some foam down here. It would help make this go a little quicker if I could do more than one row at a time. Of course, also, clean styrofoam from a meat package. Nah, don't have that in the house. That's probably not. somehow I suspect this foam is probably not. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if you order from Mouser, you're going to get what you ordered, and if it's the wrong thing, it probably means you ordered the wrong thing. Well, it's kind of... Okay, that was something I just knocked off of somewhere. Well, it must not be that important. Oh, no, actually, it is something important. It's my can of deoxit. Luckily, it didn't actually fall onto the floor. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do, because I'm not sure how securely this foam is holding the LEDs, I'm going to tack one side in, and then I'll take the foam off, check, and solder the other side. All right, looks like the LED stayed in place. Guess let me go ahead and get the other side. Let me know, well, actually, the one thing about this angle is, well, the further down the board I get, the more awkward this is going to be, but I may have to actually flip this around. All right. Excellent. Well, I think they're all soldered. Woohoo! Just have to... Yeah, that might make it easier. I'm not sure that's actually going to make it much easier. All right, we'll see. You know, there is also something to be said that if I put all the LEDs in, then put the resistors in, all right, I'm going to try a little experiment. But I do need to find the coin cell battery that I had, and that maybe that's the thing I actually knocked off the bench. Yes, it does look like I knocked it off the bench. All right, well, that is fine. That's why I have 3 more in the package that I can also knock off the bench. Oh, no, there it is. Found it. All right, I am going to try something bold here. I just poured all the LEDs off onto the workbench, which means now I have a knock off the bench hazard. And I am going to just put all the blue LEDs on the board here. It's actually yeah, I think that is the phrase VHS. Yeah, I guess in the modern vernacular, I am YOLOing it. Also, an important factor of YOLOing this is to definitely have a CR2032 battery so that if you yeet your board off of your workbench by accident, you can then test all the LEDs again. Let's see, that should be row 4, had 6. Okay, row 5 has 4 here. Two. 3. 4. And then starting at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. 3, 4, 5, 6. Starting at is going to be 5A. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so row 6 has 4 over on the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think it should be 5 over on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the row 7 has 3 on the left side. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4 on the right side. Now the next row gets a little bit dangerous here. So this is going to be row 8. Row 8 has 3 blue LEDs. 2, 3, and now this is where I now, in a separate pile, need to pour out the red LEDs, and actually also the red current limiting resistors because they're so small. I'm actually probably going to have to solder those. I think what I'm going to have to do here is go ahead and solder these LEDs, because I then need to, because of how small the resistors are for the red LEDs, I kind of need to do them before I put any of the red LEDs in. So I'm going to apply my totally legit official LED holder thingamajig. Yeah, I've got some containers. And I wish I had a permanent marker so I could mark. But yeah, that's probably... actually, I'll just use the current limiting resistors. I'll put the red ones... Yeah, it's probably a good idea. You reminded me that I actually did go swipe some plastic bathroom cups from the master bath, just because they're convenient for putting components in while doing things. There we go. All right, at least the resistors are now probably a little safer than they were. All right, so now that I have what appears to be an angry porcupine. Well, probably what I'm going to end up having to do here is probably solder some and then cut pins, wash, rinse, and repeat. Hey, Jack68K, welcome. I am, ooh. And yes, if anyone's wondering, is my fume extractor on? The answer is yes, but it is not as effective as it should be with the board in this orientation. So, not much I can do about that. All right. Nope, not fixed yet, Retro Techie. Joe has the Fuji bitmapped. Actually, Joe, I would be interested in seeing the Fuji in rainbow, because I believe that is how Atari, well, at least in some marketing campaigns, used it that way. Probably the, oh look, our console has colors on the screen. Unlike the TRS-80. Or I guess the ZX-80. Oh no, that... Unfortunately, I don't know, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I guess the 2600 did, yeah, it would have come out before the computers. Well, maybe that's also the reason why I'm kind of less into the 2600, is because I guess I'm more into the computers than the game consoles. Although, for anyone that was watching Joe's stream last night, you well know that I also do like my game consoles. After all, I recapped and broke free an NES. And by broke free, I mean I clipped pin 4 off the CIC. And didn't look back. And the reason I did that actually wasn't because I have any, like, homebrew games I want to play. It's actually because, apparently, as Retro Techie discovered, you can sometimes have those CIC chips fail on genuine Nintendo cartridges, because he bought one at a thrift shop, and he put it in his NES, and it was doing the reset thing, and he put a short out on YouTube and was like, "What's wrong with my cartridge?" And I took one look at the blink pattern. I'm like, "Hey, Retro Techie, I think your CIC chip on this cart might be bad." And so he put it in his Retron, and he replied back, he's like, "Yeah, the Retron reads the ROM just fine." So apparently that cart had a bad CIC chip on it. So I have a Nintendo now that if I have a cartridge where it's even genuine cartridges that are just being bulky at playing on a NES with the lockout chip, well, I got one now that I can try, and well, the CIC can't lock the game out. All right. And actually, it was probably good I recapped that NES. While I knew that all electrolytic capacitors will eventually fail, the NES wasn't on my list of systems where that was kind of the foregone conclusion to recap. But sure enough, when I removed the original caps from the power supply on it, I got that wonderful, wonderful whiff of fishiness. Ew. So yeah, I think the caps in the power supply on the one I recapped yesterday, it actually started to leak. So it was going to need recapped soon anyways. Now I've got another NES. I'll actually recap it on my stream, on one of my streams, and I'm not going to do the CIC mod on it. I'm gonna leave it as a recapped, but otherwise stock NES. Because granted, not that its case is in much better shape than the one I worked on last night, because the game door was cracked, but... All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to go ahead and put the resistors in for the red LEDs because of how tiny they are. I mean, look at these. These are so cute. I mean, they're just cuter than my nieces dressed up for Easter. No, wait. No, that's not right. My nieces dressed up for Easter are cuter. Sorry. Sorry, resistors. They're like cuter than these other resistors. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and Joe random LED challenge. Is that kind of where you where Joe just sends you a bunch of LEDs by weight from ones that he's accidentally dropped on the floor, and then you just put them wherever, and then finally you power up the LEDBright to see if you manage to, by random chance, put the logo together with its correct color orientation? Because I would actually probably be interested to know what the odds of you actually getting it, accomplishing that would be. Maybe we could get the stand-up maths guy to calculate the odds of... Actually, it'd probably be astronomical. Okay, that's good, Jack68K. Yeah, Joe sends you the LEDs for a randomly chosen design all in one bag, and you have to figure out what the design is. Yeah, that would be the Joe random LED challenge for sure. Oh no! One Oh, that's not cool. All right, I just realized I've been dropping components. Okay, so that is a blue LED. 2, 3, and I just dropped 3 resistors on the floor. There we go. I got them. See, that's why I was worried about yeeting components off my desk, because I just about did it. This time it was more just knock, but than yeet. Oh, and by the way, I've got a, I don't know if this would be a joke that Joe would appreciate, but I'm wearing my, what was it say? Yeah, never trust an atom. They make up everything shirt today. So, I thought that was a good one to wear for putting this together because, yeah, VHS, generally speaking, calculating odds can be started at 50-50. Yeah. Yeah, I saw this shirt on Amazon and I had to get it. It's pretty cool. I don't have a link handy, but I think it's like Ann Arbor T-shirt company or something like that. So it's a company that they're actually made. The T-shirts are printed up in Michigan, I think, actually. And they try to source as much as they can from the U.S. and I guess North America. Because I want to say that the T-shirts might actually be, I don't know that they're getting the T-shirts from the U.S. because it's kind of one of those things that can be harder to get U.S. made. But it's they're a small business. They sell lots of interesting designs on Amazon, and well, as with most companies I mention on this channel, they're not a sponsor. I just they make cool designs and they're a small business. So if I get a chance, I'll see if I can't find the link for this shirt. Actually, maybe I'll take a momentary break and I'll find the link for this shirt because it is a pretty cool shirt. And oh, apparently I'm not signed in to Amazon on this computer. All right, well, that's just fine. I will. Here we go. Never trust an atom shirt. And wow, there are here we go. Yes, it is Ann Arbor T-shirt Company. That is the one I am going to link. We'll just pick a size because I think I got to pick a size to copy a link. Copy a link. Here we go. So if anyone is interested in the shirt, yeah, it's Ann Arbor T-shirt Company, and they are made in the USA and imported, and they're printed up in Michigan. So I know there's other designs like this, but I went for the company that prints them in the US. Because actually their design's pretty cool. So I guess that will be my plug for a small business during today's stream, if you like cool T-shirt designs. So As VHS says, my great-grandfather would have said, don't believe anything you hear, or half of what you see and doubt the other half. Yeah. So, anyways. Also, I guess if anyone is curious, I use this thing I've got on my bench that I've got the board on right now, which actually I just realized. Oh, good. I just realized that I'd didn't have the my screen right to occasionally make sure that I haven't like managed to completely hide what I'm working on. Although I know the contrast can be a bit tough, but yeah, that is good advice. So, anyways, I guess the other one, another small business product I use is, so this thing that I've got the board on is actually a quad hands, and I want to say those are made down in South Carolina. So, I know there's cheaper ones that are available, and they even make them in the same color. But I actually have the one that's made down in I think they're in South Carolina. I mean, I suspect they all work about the same, because they're basically a heavy metal plate, but yep. I guess the only thing about this is, depending on what the board is, I mean, it only fits boards that are so wide, so that's why you don't see me use it all the time, because there are definitely boards I have that there's no chance they're fitting, like the Amiga motherboard. I've got a larger quad hands that uses magnetic holders, and the Amiga motherboard is really too big for even it. And also, the way this one holds boards, I've got some boards I've worked on where the components are too close to the edge of the board, so the board holders don't work right. But for this board here, there's enough room on the sides of the board that the board holders are able to hold the board. I thought I'd pull it out. PET, yeah, for this holder, the PET motherboard I think is too big. Now the bigger quad hands I have, the PET motherboard might actually work on it. It's just if the motherboard's too wide, then I wouldn't worry about it tipping over if you did get the board in, because the plate that goes on your bench is pretty heavy. It's just, you got to be able to put the board on, bend the arms until they make magnetic contact. Although, I will say though, I did borrow a couple of the arms from it. So I have worked on boards where I stick the arm. I know, well, you can't see that because it's below the bench, but I actually have stuck these arms to my stainless steel workbench. Ooh, Joe has a new product available. Ooh. It's so tempting. Just fixed it. So Joe, have you ever had someone order an LEDBright while they're in the middle of building one? I mean, I guess that in reality that wouldn't be something you'd normally know unless the person who's building one on live stream falls for the new product you just added on your website and places an order for one while the stream is live. Ah, that's actually, yes. Oh, Joe knows how to speak my language here. Yeah, yep. He's like there's this box I've got to send you, hint, hint. LEDBright will fit in the box, hint, hint. All right, I'm thinking about it while I put my chicken lips together. That maybe I'm gonna let others have a chance to maybe get their first LEDBright before I just completely fall for it. Yes. All right. Now I'll get the current limiting resistors for the blue LEDs after I get all the blue LEDs in, because they're actually taller than the LEDs. So in order to kind of since my piece of foam's not optimal, I thought I'd do the LEDs first and then the reason they're kind of look weird and shimmery is because, well, I'm trying to hold all of them, but anyways, there we go. Just a preview. Okay. Yes, go check out the LEDBright. I'm looking at Joe's Fuji design, and it is definitely looks very nice in a 16 by 16 grid, and you even get to choose the color of the logo. Although it doesn't appear to have a rainbow option yet, but oh. Yeah, that might be a sign that it's time to take the trash to the dump. But yes, you can apparently get the... Oh, I thought there was a rainbow color option for the Fuji logo. Or potentially the option for. Because I think it's the Fuji logo... Now, Grant, I don't know what the canonical color sequence is, because I think I've seen Atari use many... Yeah. And I think even in some of their commercials, they animated the cycled through the colors in it, so good luck finding the canonical colors. But he's got the solid colors, so you can pick, I think, pick any of the colors of LEDs he has. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, or white. And then if you get one of his kits that's pre-made, you get a grid like this. Shows you how to build them, all the LEDs and the resistors needed for the kit, which actually for the solid color Fuji logo, basically you'll just get all one color LED and all one value resistors. So it's just pretty much a plug and solder operation. Plug the components into the correct spots on the board, solder, and you're done. So, all right, there we go. Oh. All right, so I think that should be the well, I think I passed the halfway point on the LEDs. Hopefully I can check that the red LEDs are, yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the leads, because otherwise I'll just end up bending them. All right. Cool. Oh, you know, I guess. Oh, there was one. I was looking on my workbench. Also, when you get an LED kit from Joe, he does include a few extra LEDs just in case. So I just wanted to put my extra red LED back in the bag so I didn't get mixed up with the blue ones. So you need not fear if you get one of those LED kits. He puts a couple extras in. All right, so let me go back to the putting the blue LEDs in. Now that I got the red ones in, just because those resistors are shorter than the LEDs. All right. So I think I am on row 9. And there are 4 blue LEDs. And row A, there's 4 blue LEDs. Yep, 3 and 4. And row B, there are 6 blue LEDs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that was row B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, row C has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And it also does not starts column 1 and not column 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oh! Well, actually, yeah, I think the way I'm looking at Joe's, Joe just did put the rainbow Atari logo up based on the, I get majority sources he could find on the internet. And I think the proportions on the Fuji logo look correct to me, especially when you see the see it with the color stripes in it. 3, 4, 7. See, I think there's 8 on this because the 8. Yeah, it is true. Joe's admitting he had to kind of do a little bit of fudging with the logo to get it to fit in a 16 by 16 grid. Yeah. It could be the logo designers are like, what do you want? What resolution do you want me to put your logo in? Oh yeah, Joe says a direct one-to-one conversion would make the inner stripe 1 pixel wide, which would look stupid on the panel. Yeah. All right, and I believe that is... Oh, actually, you can actually see the... Joe, is that your hint that if I want an LEDBright, now would be the time to place the order? But anyways, yep. Well, I think Joe would probably attest that I think I sent him at least 45 pounds, although not all in one box, but... Supplies are... Okay. All right, let's see here. Yes, yeah, yes, I sent Joe a few 8-bit related items. I mean, a few. So I don't know if it's... Oh, actually, you can see it. So anyways, someday there is a big brown box that is, I guess from your view, to the right of the supporting pole in my basement, and then there are 2 computers above it, which I doubt you can really tell what they are from here, but we'll just say that I sent Joe one computer that was in that box, and then another that was actually in a different box. Long story as to why they were in 2 separate boxes, but they're MSX computers. Because Joe had... I somehow figured out, and I think it was because he made a comment on a live stream or something, that he had never had an MSX machine. So I hooked Joe up to make sure that he had an MSX system, because they are interesting. probably to say the least. And they are, I would say, they were definitely more popular in other parts of the world than the US. Because I think the US had so much competition in terms of all the other 8-bit computer companies. Plus, they really were kind of late in the game to the 8-bit realm. Because I think it was really... Honestly, I think part of the driving factor in the MSX standard was Microsoft wanting to milk every last cent they could out of Microsoft Basic licensing. Because in fact, the standard really was set by ASCII Corporation, which is Microsoft's Japanese subsidiary. So yes, it is, so the museum now has MSX, because 8-bits are all you need. And I could have probably crammed it all into one box, but I didn't want to hurt my back trying to carry the box to UPS. That and the one other thing about MSX systems, not that it's not horribly different from other 8-bit computer systems, but they're cheap. So they're, yeah, yeah, VHS is Jack Tramiel defeated Microsoft's money-hungering back in the day with Commodore Basic, yeah. I suspect someone in, yeah, somehow Microsoft had to make up for the Jack Tramiel managing to convince Microsoft to do a one-time license fee for that version of BASIC, and that's why so many Commodore computers had the same version of BASIC on it, is because that's how Jack Tramiel convinced Microsoft to license it. It was for that version of BASIC. They would have had to pay another licensing fee to get another version of BASIC. And I suspect, and Jack probably knew it, that he was only going to get away with doing that once. Because as soon as Microsoft figured out how many they were selling, I bet they would have made the another version of Commodore BASIC per machine licensed, not flat rate. But yeah, that was the... I want to say Commodore did finally, eventually, for some system, go back to Microsoft and got it updated, because they just finally got to the point where they had to. But yeah, I think it was the BASIC that was on the PET, and then that same version's on the VIC-20, and in fact, I kind of even thought that maybe they might have even started with it on the C64, although I thought the C64 finally got an update to BASIC, because it just had functionality and it really needed it, but yeah. Oh, okay, so Commodore okay. Commodore got away with, yeah, VHS is saying one license and never again, because they, yeah, it was a, yeah, they paid for the unlimited use of that version of BASIC, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, yeah, and you're right, it was just that one version. That's why the C64, that's why there's seeming missing functionality in BASIC on the C64, is because, you're right, they never did update it. That's right. Because they really did use that one version and run with it, yeah. So I guess Microsoft had to make up for that by with MSX to just get all the licensing they could. Because really was their standard, so it was like, yes, MSX shall have Microsoft Basic. Guess what? That means we get a royalty per machine because it has Microsoft Basic on it. But yeah, a lot of the MSX machines, the other thing is, I guess because of all the competition, and I guess it was since it was really, really kind of late when they came out and compared to things, so it's like a lot of the MSX machines have cheap construction. A lot of the keyboards are... this is actually sample 88 until I run out, Eric. And I will be running out because that's what I have. I do have more flux. That's all the sample 88 I have. And actually, I'm not sure I'm going to order another tube of it. I'd almost rather get what I had been using before, because it's easier to clean. And quite honestly, I think it might. I mean, I have no trouble with sample 88. I mean, it is solder flux. It does do its job. It's just I think it's harder to clean. But I realize though that in some parts of the world you can't get the other stuff because it's not REACH compliant. So. What am I using? What was I using for? I'm gonna have to look at the tube. All right, so I got all the resistors or all the LEDs are soldered. I do need to fix one mistake here that'll prevent me from being able to insert a resistor. It looks like I got a blob of solder in and right there. Actually, I'll probably have to desolder from both sides. There we go. I got a little bit of solder in all right. Well, okay. I think I should be able to insert resistors now. Let's see. What was I using before? I was using the VS 213. I did something silly, so I'm having trouble reading the label. VS 213. AS. F, maybe? All right, so I guess at least if for those of you curious, it does starting to look like a chicken lips. You can see the pattern. Now it's just time to start putting resistors on. And I'm just All right. So basically, I am going to just insert, well, basically, I'm going to now realize everywhere where I got solder that I didn't want it. Let's see here. There it is. All right. So now I'm just going to go ahead and insert resistors, and I will go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and insert until I hit a spot where I need to remove solder. Although I think I tried looking at the board really well, so I think I should be able to get most of these in. Well, uh-oh. I'm actually, one of the things I'm hope to do soon is I'm going to create a new LEDBright back video, but I was actually kind of scripting one out and realized that, oh, I'm about to make a joke in my LEDBright back video, and I should probably do something before I actually do it create the video. So I was like, all right. Oh, well. Oh, all right. We now have a new old timer in the chat. So, Vintage Hillbilly Shack is now Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack. So, actually, Jeremy, if you don't mind, I will just call you Jeremy. I usually, unless I know the person's okay with it, I'd use their persona, but since you've put your name in your YouTube name, I suspect you're cool with that. Then we don't have to worry about whoever the owner of the VHS trademark, who probably still has the trademark, even though they probably haven't sold the new VHS tape for eons at this point. Don't have to worry about them coming after you. All right, there's one row of resistors. I kind of got one that I'll have to, it's a little bit cattywampus, so I'll have to I at least want to get a couple rows of resistors in to solder. Yeah, I may, actually, I may just do two rows at a time and solder. That's probably a good number. Because any more than that, and I can't really get the soldering iron in between the rows. So, all right. Yes, Jeremy, we will leave your family name to win. We got to make sure the post office correctly delivers things to your place. Yeah, exactly. Although, I will have to add that even if you have the person's full name on the package, that doesn't necessarily seem to be a guarantee that the post office will deliver it to the correct place, but it certainly helps. Yes, I think JVC probably still has rights to VHS, because for all I know, there are still some markets where maybe they do still sell VHS tapes. It wouldn't surprise me if VHS still exists in some form in certain parts of the world. Or you never know, maybe they might be planning a comeback of the format, just kind of like vinyl records seem to be a thing again, although I really don't know why they would want to bring VHS back, because it's unlike vinyl record, where the entire tonal range of the sound can be engraved in the vinyl record. I believe you would not... I don't think VHS tape really carries what I would consider to be a high-quality, unadulterated version of the movie or TV show. Oh yeah, I guess you're right, but we'll on YouTube we'll just leave it at Jeremy. It's easy enough for me to remember anyways. All right, the return of Laserdisc. Yeah. Oh, that just gave me an interesting idea. And by interesting idea, I mean something to spoof. Maybe when I redo my animations for August, I just thought of something that I might have to spoof for at least the pre-roll animation. And yeah, Thomas, your comment about the return of Laserdisc gave me the idea, so. Yes, I do. Yes, I believe, in fact, that vinyl movie format didn't CED disc, yeah, didn't, I think maybe it was Tecmone do a video on it? Yeah, I think it was CED. Oh, CED's competitor, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what the name of that one was. Yeah, actually, I think there was a second format, but I can't think of the name. So maybe one that RCA developed, and it came out rather late compared to CED. Presumably because they were having trouble with getting the technology to work reliably. Yeah, Laserdisc was better, but these were like the low cost. Like trying to be the disc video format for the people who couldn't afford a Laserdisc. Although I guess maybe in that VHS taking the place of that format was probably all for the better, because Okay. I had trouble soldering a few of these pins for some reason. Let me clip the clip pin so I can actually try to... Yeah, those didn't even... I think I just need to apply some more solder and try again. Yeah, there is no... All right. Let's try that. Could have a guessing contest as to how many rows do people think I'm actually going to be able to solder of resistors before I run out of sample 88. As soon as I finish soldering these, I will show you how much I have left in the tube. So basically, right there, you can, I think you might just be able to see the plunger there. Yeah, maybe I should have ordered more sample 88. Oops. All right, well, I gotta fix some of these resistors. They fell. That's, oh yeah, that is. Actually, I might just have to desolder it and try again. Yeah, some of them, I thought the tape held them securely enough, but it didn't, so I gotta fix the... Oh, you know, it'd probably be better to... All right, how many resistors do I have to fix? One, really got to fix, let's see. That's the problem. A couple of them, the tape didn't hold, and they're sticking too far up. I won't... I clipped the legs off without realizing I had a problem. So I can't do that. I didn't, I forgot to look before I forgot to look before I clipped. I'm having trouble pushing them. Let me at least make sure that... Where's my USB cable? Oh, there it is. Okay, at least all the LEDs work that I've put resistors on. All right. Let me just desolder those resistors real quick and fix them. I would try to push them, but that might be, yes, it might be inviting a world of hurt, but I am trying to, with solder, trying to heat them with the soldering iron and then push them with the tweezers, the legs of the resistors are just bending. So I cannot put the case on them, because I would like to put this in a case. The case will not fit with those resistors like that. I have to fix it. I know people are probably screaming at the computer screen that you've got flux on that board, you're going to clog your desoldering iron, and you're probably right, but I don't have a choice. Oh. Well, actually, the clue to having a logo on your LEDBright is to come up with an alternate name for it. So what you just need to do is to tell Joe that you want a Munchman logo. Yeah, that would also work. Of course, it also would be, or I can just clean it out later. Honestly, I'm not sure that the flux is quite as big of a deal on the units that have a separate vacuum, although it's probably still not good for it. All right. Yeah, Munchman was Texas Instruments, but I couldn't think of another name for it. An alternate name for Pac-Man. Oh, well, that would be one reason why I was having so much trouble desoldering the resistor I was trying to desolder. It's because I desoldered the wrong one by mistake. All right. Oh. Oh. All right, so I've got solder in the via that I need to. There we go. Let's see here. Oh, still solder on the other side. Yep, there we go. All right, there we go. I think the via is now clear. There we go. And the resistor is in. And I still have a couple more to fix, but maybe I think I might be able to. Well, first of all, if I desolder or try to fix one of the problems was I actually didn't count right, and I was initially on the wrong row trying to fix the wrong resistor. So I think all right, so there we go. There's that resistor. So the next one I need to fix is let me turn this so I can see that better. This actually should be this one right here. There we go. And this one here. And let me see, this one, that one's fine. This one, 1, 2, 3. And, whoa, did not want to do that. Yeah, I meant to just push it in, and unfortunately gravity did the opposite. All right. All right, okay, at least I got the via clear, so I should be able to just put this resistor back in where it was, and it should go right in. And I think that'll be the last of the resistors I have to fix. I mean, some of them are not quite as far down as I want, but they're at least not, they're not so far up that they would block a case going on. Oh, actually, Joe, I think I meant to send you those PCBs. Are they PCBs for the VGA card? Because I think if they're the VGA card PCBs, you mentioned that during my stream when I put that together that looks handy, so I threw a couple in the box. And then I figured you would promptly forget, but at least you did think to check the box before throwing it out. Oh, yeah. Yes, I did mean to send them. I guess I didn't know it, but they're a birthday gift. A little belated, but... Yeah, I'd meant to send them. I think you saw them during my stream and said that could be handy, and I figured I'd send you a couple. All right, so I guess let me get some more resistors on, and this time I think I'll try using the foam to hold the resistors down, because I think that worked better than just tape. So, granted, Joe, as you might figure though, for the VGA, ISA VGA card project, the PCB is, well, the PCB is not the most expensive part of that project. It'll be the Trident chip. Well, actually, there's one more resistor I want to... Okay, I'll fix this. There's one last resistor I missed. It's sticking up just a little bit too far, but, well, maybe it's fine. I can also try to fix it. Yeah, I know you can get those Trident chips from UT Source, and I think at least because I bought 2 of them, they appear to be new old stock. Oh, Thomas, I sent Joe, because I'd had some PCBs made, I sent Joe 2 PCBs for the 8-bit ISA card. Because Joe, because I was actually sending Joe something anyways, and he made the comment that that looks handy, so I sent him two PCBs. Because I figured that gave him one for having on hand for the museum, and one for, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, yeah, if you've got an original 8-bit ISA card, then you're probably good, but for anyone that doesn't have one, because when those do show up on eBay, they go quick. It's a good way of getting an 8-bit ISA card. I mean, some 16-bit ISA cards actually will work in an 8-bit slot. You can put 512K RAM on this board. Which could be an advantage. Okay, I'll have to do that from the other side. Okay, I'll fix that later. Actually, Joe, I bet if you threw it in a 5150, as long as you set the jumper correctly on the motherboard for adapter type, which I guess basically you don't want it, probably don't want it jumpered for Hercules, I think it'll work just fine. Yeah, I bet you'll have an easier time using Sergey's card with a modern monitor, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, some 16-bit VGA cards will work in an 8-bit slot. I've seen some 16-bit VGA cards that have a jumper to set 8-bit operation, and I think some will just work. So, but yeah, this 8-bit ISA card that you can build, yeah, it definitely works in an 8-bit slot. Which I guess if you have 16-bit VGA cards that have the Trident TVGA 9000i graphics chip, those are probably, I think those will be at least more likely the 16-bit versions to work in an 8-bit ISA slot, because I think the graphics chip is at least one of the ones that's okay with being on an 8-bit bus. Awesome. I'm just hoping Joe is, oh, let me fix my resistor here, because if I break my train of thought, I will forget to fix this resistor. And that resistor is... this one, I think. Or maybe not. Oh, there's the one I need to fix. Okay. Oh, don't worry, Joe. I think my mail carrier hates me anyways. Well, that's going to be good enough. Okay, just had a few resistors to fix. All right, let's do an LED check. Yeah, my mail carrier probably hates my Prime subscribe and save orders because I get protein shakes and lots of them. And now I am going to take a moment here to see here. All right, and let's see here. I hope I typed that right. All right, let's get some more resistors. And sorry about that, Joe. You got the box packed before I could finish something. Also, in other news, I believe Joe has one LEDBright left, so place your orders now. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you got it packed before I was able to do that. Luckily, LEDBrights are flat. Like, I'm kind of hoping it'll just kind of maybe gently rest on the top of the box or something like that. Yeah, and Joe's probably looking at my order like, I'm streaming. Yeah, and Joe, you can probably figure I'm streaming. I couldn't decide which LED pack I wanted, so I just I hedged bets for whatever I felt like when I put it together. All right. Oh, I got a little, yep, I got solder down in the via. All right. Let me solder these resistors real quick. All right. Had to tack those in because I got a little blob of solder down another via. Let's see here. There we go. Now I should be able to get a resistor. And actually, Jeremy, I think Joe actually has parts for the Fuji now because he just keeps LEDs in stock. I think he mentioned that to me once. It's just like in Spaceballs, instant cassettes. They're out on store shelves before the movie's finished. Just in this case, theoretically, anyone could have ordered any logo in a 16 by 16 grid by drawing it themselves. Ah. I am using something. I don't know that it really requires me to use liquid flux. It just sometimes seems to flow better with it. Maybe it's just because I'm trying to keep Amtech in business. I don't know. Might also be this tip is just a bit... I need to get a new tip, I think. Yeah. Probably. I think this would be just totally fine without flux, but... It might also be that it's my soldering tip more than anything, and the flux is... Okay, I got one resistor that I soldered a while ago that is just really bothering me with the angle it's at, so I'm going to fix it here. So let me do a LED check here. All right, that looks good. I guess let me... Actually, both those resistors are kind of cattywampus. I'm going to... Let's see here. So it's 1, 2... All right. All right. Yep, basically it was just two LEDs that work. They didn't... I didn't get them soldered flush enough to the board, so I'm just trying to fix them here. I desoldered them. I'm going to then try to... Probably what I'm going to do for these is, because of where they're at, I'm going to put new resistors where those two were, and then I will use those two resistors in a slightly easier to reach spot. Since I cut the legs short. Yeah, they probably should go in first. I thought it would be easier, though, to do the LEDs first, because the LEDs are shorter than the resistors. But yeah, I think the resistors need to go in first to make so that if they do fall out while you're soldering them, you're not trying to fight the LEDs to fix them. All right. It also is a good idea to, before you clip the leads, check the component to make sure it didn't fall. There we go. That's better. Well, there's one more that really is kind of... I'm just going to leave it alone because I'm getting into trouble fixing resistors. Okay. Oh, Joe, my intention is that I'm streaming and I couldn't make up my mind. Is that fair enough? I don't know which one I want to build. So yeah, that my intention was I couldn't decide, so I ordered one of each kit. I hope that's permissible. Or that at least you might grant me a one-time exception. Or yeah, that I might could do that too. Because yeah, I was having trouble deciding which I wanted, so it's kind of, it's like the, oh, which do I want? I know Joe's packing a box for me. I can't decide. I'll just order one of each. But yeah, that actually could be pretty cool. Oh. Actually, I think when I assembled the fruit logo, I tried blue tack and it turns into a... it gets melted when you try to do small components like this because it just, I don't know. Yeah, blue tack really I don't think would help here. Although I guess since I'm going to have to put this through the ultrasonic cleaner anyways, it would probably be easier to clean it. But that is the one thing about blue tack. If it gets too hot and you melt the blue tack and it becomes a sticky, gooey mess. Yeah, it melts. So, I mean, so if you're holding something in like an IC socket, where the plastic of the side of the IC socket's going to insulate the blue tack from heat, it works fine. It's the... when you don't have an IC socket to insulate the blue tack, and you try to do it for something like this, that's when you discover that the... Yeah, So, yes, you can actually put the LEDs on the back. But if you're going to get the 3D printed case, which I may do sometime, I think you have to put them on the front then, because otherwise the case won't, you can't put the case on. So that's why I'm putting them on the front. But yeah, you can, if you were just going to use the included stand, then you can totally put the resistors on the back. And hopefully Joe is correcting me if I misspoke about the assembly instructions. Yeah. So yeah, if you just want to use these included feet, which is how Joe shows it in his museum, then yeah, the resistors can totally go on the back. Oh, Joe, I think what I'm doing to you is helping to keep the museum in business. 148 LEDs and resistors at a time. And if it wasn't for the fact I have already have enough blue scuzzies at the moment, I probably would have thrown one of them. Well, actually, you might be out of stock of blue scuzzies. Uh-oh. Um. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe. I think in the time since I placed the order, if you don't have any, yeah, okay, you're out of white LEDs and blue scuzzies. Well, if you're out of white LEDs, oh, you'll order up. Okay. Because I might have talked myself into the putting together the rainbow Atari kit, but well, I guess since you're sending me a box, go ahead and send the parts of it you have, and we'll you can send me the white LEDs when they come in, because those you could just shove those in a small little box. So. All right, let's see here if I can't. I think I'm beginning to realize it's. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, Joe. If you, yeah, I don't blame you there. If you put all the blue scuzzies on your website that you could actually sell, then you would be nothing. You would be doing nothing but blue scuzzy for several days, probably. So, yeah, sometimes the really popular products can. Yeah, I think, in fact, actually, I think it was, oh yeah, David Murray, I think, posted a new video, and I happened to catch his description, and it basically was something to the effect of, I'm sorry I haven't been uploading videos as often as I want to, but basically I guess he recently released Petsky robots for some new platform, and apparently it was like, he spent a lot of time fulfilling those orders for the pre-orders for the new platform of Petsky robots, and that took time away from videos. So yeah, you gotta. Sometimes it's a balance of making sure you don't overcommit yourself. And then apparently, I think David was working. He's trying to restore an arcade cabinet that apparently that restoration's not going as well as he'd hoped. I forget what his video's on. It was, I think, another restoration. Oh, that's right. I think David Murray restored a 2C Plus. I think this is what the video is on. Yeah, that actually could be a fun platform for the Atari. I mean, I don't know if if he'll port it to the Atari, though. Although at this point, I do have to wonder, okay, which platforms is Petsky Robots not available for now? Oh yeah, and if anyone's wondering, I'm all out of sample 88. Maybe I have enough residual flux on this board that my solder will cooperate without adding any more. And yep, I am getting close to finishing. There we go. Yep, after I finish this row, I will have 3 more rows of resistors. All right, so let me do an LED check here. Wow, it is, it's kind of like I'm loading a Chicken Lips logo down the screen. And yeah, I think my camera is kind of diminishing how blue the blue LEDs are. They are blue, but they're supposed to be. Cool. Yeah, I don't know why, I remembered again I need to I gotta remember to place my order with Mauser for my Franklin Ace 1000. So I can put the 6502 that's currently in the Ace 1000 back into my Atari 400. Because I think I'd rather have that CPU back where it came from than and put the new one in the Franklin Ace 1000, since it's the one that had the failed CPU. All right, we'll see you later, Jeremy. Oh, there we go. All right. And actually, I think for now on the... I think for the Ace 1000, I'm probably at the moment going to hold... or obviously replace the processor that failed. But I think in terms of recapping... Oh, and I'll order safety caps to replace the safety caps I removed. But at the moment, I'm not going to recap the... At least I'm not going to recap the power supply just yet, because I'm still debating on just replacing it with a reactive micro power supply. That actually might probably be easier to do that than recap the old power supply, but... I'm thinking of, since the Franklin Ace 500 is the one that probably needs more work. I gotta make a power supply for it, though. Guess I can figure out some way of... Oh, now that's a scary thought. Figure out some way of wiring the ACE 1000's power supply up to power the 500. I mean, it'd probably be possible. It's just producing this... I think it produces all the correct voltage rails. I don't know whether that thought's a good thought or a bad thought now that I think about it. I mean, on one hand, it would let me figure out if there's anything wrong with it quicker, if I needed to order parts to fix. But I wouldn't be able to leave it like that. All right. Also, I gotta... probably break down and buy a Dremel, because unfortunately I figured out last night on Joe's stream that apparently the wonderful screws that Franklin used to attach the motherboard to the RF shield are so cheap they... Well, I've already stripped the head of one screw, and the screw's not even, didn't even budge an inch. So the screw is... The screw is stuck. So I'm gonna have to do one of the other dangerous things to do on YouTube, and that is take a Dremel to a computer. Because I'm gonna have to make a new... I'm basically gonna have to Dremel a... I'm going to have to turn the Phillips screw into a flathead screw with the power of the Dremel. That's basically what it's going to come down to. Otherwise, I won't be getting the RF shield off, which could be a problem to, well, I mean, if it works, it wouldn't be a problem, except I did want to do the memory upgrade that I have the chips to do, and to do that, I need to be able to, I need to get the board off. And I think I forgot a row of resistors, which probably explains why I have so many extras. Oh yeah, that's the one I need to pull up on. Oh. Yeah, let me tack the rest of these so they don't fall out when I remove the tape. All right. Oh, yeah. Yep, I did forget a row of resistors. No big deal. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Ah, there we go. All right. I'll get this resistor. Actually, oh, that's not going to work either. Hold on. I did something really weird to this resistor lead. Oh. Now I've done something really, really weird to it. All right. All right. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Well, I think I'm going to need to order more Gootwick too soon. All right. Okay, now I should be able to push this resistor down where it goes. Straighten the lead out. Then the lead. All right. All right. Might have to. Due to a little goof up, I'm going to have to solder this one resistor right there. Oh, I guess I did get, there we go. Okay, now let me make sure I got the resistors. Yep, okay, they're, all right, they should be fine to solder on the other side. And yeah, I did forget to put, I skipped a row by accident, so I know it might be hard to see the pins sometimes on screen, although it might just be the monitor I've got for my preview. It's not the greatest of monitors. Maybe the pins show up better on your monitor. There we go. Let's see here. Go ahead and get the rest of these resistors and do an LED check, and then I'll get the last few resistors that I missed. And then that is higher than I normally want. There we go. Oops. Of course, that resistor would have done that to me. That's probably fine. I guess those are... Alright, let's see what this looks like. All right. All right, let me get these last few resistors I missed. Just as soon as the... I was trying to put this together so it looked like I was drawing chicken lips from top to bottom of the screen, and I missed a row of resistors. Oh, which might be because I found yet another place where I got a little bit of solder down the via and didn't intend to. Oh, well. Oh, well, maybe I'll just fix it this way. Because actually now I think I got solder down both vias now. That were hot. Not sure exactly what on that I touched, but I let go of it pretty quick. It was quite warm. Yeah. Chicken lorps. Yeah, I guess I was, when I thought I had finished all the LEDs, I was looking at the pile of resistors. I'm like, I don't remember Joe sending too many extra resistors, because generally they just work. This is an awful lot of extra resistors. And I realized, oh yeah, it's because I completely forgot a bunch of resistors. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, okay, now my extra pile is about a little closer to what I thought it should be. A few extras in case you mess up or there was a miscount or you drop them or whatnot, but it's like, wow, that looks like too many extra resistors. Yeah, it's because I was missing them. There we go. So let me get those soldered down and then yeah. Yeah, resistors are cheap. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it was the, when I had more extras than I thought I should have. That's when I was like, okay, I've forgotten something, and then saw that, yeah, I forgot something. Just about a whole entire row of the board. And I mean, I guess as with any manufactured item, you could run into a defective resistor off the spool, but always possible. It'd probably be more likely that it would just be the resistance would be wrong. Although I guess maybe you could get one that's just open off the reel. All right, is that chicken lips? Let's find out. Do I have chicken lips or I have chicken lips? There's the design as and the, oh, awesome, Joe. And apparently Joe realized that he did have enough white LEDs. So there we go. It is, yeah, it is nice. It will go quite nicely with the fruit logo. And with Fuji. Yeah. I'll just have a small little collection of vintage computer logos. There we go. And it's done. Of course, after I'll put it through the ultrasonic cleaner since I decided to make sure Amtech stayed in business by seemingly drenching the board in solder flux. But 8 bits are all you need. That is right, Joe. or in my case, 8 bits and a something to clean my workbench off with. I've got I may have to. I think may have to lint roll my shirt because I got little lead bits on my shirt too somehow. But anyways, that is Chicken Lips. That is the build. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the I don't know if I can find the power switch. Where is the power? There it is. There we go. Went and turned off my soldering iron and desolder station. Although maybe I should have. Oh, wiped off the solder while they're still somewhat warm. Actually, I should probably. Let me clean my desoldering gun before it has a chance to caught the error before it had a chance to cool down too far. And yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, it looks nice. It'll look nice on the shelf or wherever I put it. So with that, I think that concludes the build. So, I guess if you liked this Chicken Lips build stream, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, well, what are you waiting for? If you liked today's Circuit Sunday or like seeing circuits built in general, I have plenty more ideas for other Circuit Sundays. I don't necessarily guarantee I'll do one every Sunday, but that is at least something I will try to do periodically. Even if it is something as simple as a Blue Scuzzy build or something as cool as a Chicken Lips build. Button smashed. All right. So with that, I think I am going to call this stream to a close because I am certainly thirsty after having put this together. And yeah, I think that I got done what I wanted to get done. I'll just have to put this through the ultrasonic cleaner and should be good. So with that, I'd like to wish everyone a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. My live streams are brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon. And by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.